I can't see shit. All right, 5 lights. Here we go. And we're off racing here for the season finale of Division 2 Summit League Racing here in Interlagos, Brazil. And you got Abcordy making a jump on Leemans coming into turn 1. They are pretty much side by side, but Abcordy gonna take the position. Lee slots into P2. Vapid making some nice moves as well. He's up into P3. Corrido right behind him as well. They got He Who Shall Not Be Named, putting some pressure actually. They're almost wheel to wheel there with Corrido. Looks like Corrido's gonna slot into P4. Owen in P5, you got Borga in P6. Some nice opening laps there. Don't think anything major happened except for Legend, though. Oh, Legend dropped out massively there in P20.
Yeah, Legend's on a bastard. Oh, Salty Clock has made contact with Big Mike down in 14th place. And there were like 4 cars fighting for the same piece of tarmac. And especially at a track this narrow, that's never going to end well. Salty Clock finding himself down the order then, as Kolesko is fighting Bad Otter and Legend for P15. Kolesko with another awful qualifying, but he's looking to make some progress. He's made up 2 places on the opening lap. But once again, Division 2 serving up some carnage. But again, Diesel, Mendes lost out at the start, which is quite frustrating for the new champion of QWERTY. Leads by just under a second to the new champion. So already, DRS might not even be a factor for JD Mendes.
Yeah, I have a feeling, though, because of all the shenanigans, I think Lee is just going to get into his comfort zone. He should be okay, but you still got Vapid Coot, who's right on his ass. Like, any mistake from Lee Menz at this point could cost him. And you know Corrido and Coot are battling it out for P2 in the Drivers' Championship. Like, Corrido, 7 points behind Vapid Coot. So Coot just wants to stay in this position. If he can get a move on Menz, then all the power to him. I'm sure he won't be complaining. But, you know, easier said than done.
It is. Yeah. It is a lot easier said than done to stay within 1 second of the car ahead. As, speaking of staying within 1 second, Golden Egg Fryer is struggling to stay on the track. He's had a spin and in the middle sector. And, yeah, this guy has had not a lot of luck since I've started commentating in Division 2 last season. And, yeah, the luck hasn't really swung his way at all this season either. As of QWERTY, his lead is just over a second to JD Benz, and Vapid Coot, like you said, close behind, and he's got a bit more battery than the Ferrari does at this stage of the race. So already, oh no, never mind, JD Benz has just got into DRS. So yeah, you're right, I think he might just be biding his time here, as the top 5 might be starting to streak away a little bit from the rest of the field.
Yeah, this is what I've noticed, especially like especially when it comes to Lee. He's kind of slow, or not. I would say slow because obviously he's a fucking rocket ship, but he's just like he likes to settle in. I think to the race, because to figure out what everyone's deal is, what everyone's doing, and then once he figures that out in his mind, he's like, all right, now I can do my thing. I can fucking go out and attack, and that's, I'm sure, what the Ferrari is planning on doing. And especially the fact that Coot was so goddamn close, you want to be in DRS range of Abcordy just to help yourself defend as well.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. And another thing that will help you defend is ERS. And as you look at the ERS, the top 3 are very similar, only 5% covering them at this moment in time. As JD Menz, there you go. You are absolutely right there, Diesel. He's just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, as Mash down in P6 goes on the inside of Scar Borger, going through turns 1 and 2. Ooh. And there's a bit of contact there between the Mercedes and the Williams. Coutinho 10 sneaks his way through, and Borger desperately looking to get back past. And contact on the straight! How on earth have you managed that, lads? You've made contact on the straight.
Oh, again!
Oh, Borger's round as well! Oh, he'll be saving with that.
I mean, yeah, that's very unfortunate. Those two were battling it out for multiple corners there. It looks like Borga definitely got the worst of that there. Stewards are gonna have a fun day. I can tell you that for free.
Yeah, that is for sure. Scarborger will definitely be sending that in. And speaking of a potential penalty, Legend already has a 3-second penalty, and we're on lap 4 here, so he's already made things a little bit harder for himself than they already needed to be, as he's already trying to fight for P2 in the Drivers' Championship, and it doesn't seem like he's going to be winning that fight at the moment, but there's still a long way to go in this race. But yeah, all I'm saying is, Scarburger, mate, you could have had some engineers to help you out with that situation, because I saw in the general that apparently he rejected the idea of having some engineers by his side, and as a result of that, he might lose 2 places in one go, and that's exactly what has happened. There you go, Borger having an horrendous lap, and 4 laps in, it's not looking great for the Williams driver.
Yeah, poor guy. I mean, at least our top 5, sorry, staying within a second of each other. So those guys really sticking with each other. Mash kind of dropping off the pace. You got Big Mike just got overtaken by Legend. So Legend's back into P11 after a terrible start. He was down into P20 at one point. Already pretty much halfway through the grid as he gets closer to Zach is Beast now. He who shall not be named, and this is why you do not name him. Because, ladies and gentlemen, he's down into P12. 13 now. Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
And he was having
a
fantastic drive, too.
He spun again, mate.
Of course he did.
He's 18th now.
Yeah.
The one who shall not be named has spun twice, and he is now down in 18th place. A lot of people dropping out of contention early on in this race. Golden Egg Fryer picks up a time penalty as well. As meanwhile, Coutinho and Mash really going at it here for P5 now in this Grand Prix. And the Alpine gets past the Mercedes. He kind of has to on those medium tides on the quicker tyre, which explains the gap from the top 4 having over the rest of the field. As, Mash really looking to try and stay as close as he can to the medium runners before the round of pit stops. That's how he's going to make his strategy work on the hard tyre. But, yeah, at the moment, the top 4 clear of the rest. Ooh. It was 5. We're down to 4 at the moment after the guy who should not be mentioned spin. After the Alfa Romeo's spin.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yes, and we're just on screen. Mash and Coutinho just having a real battle. Mash actually went up the inside at the hairpin. It was actually a really sexy fucking move. I'm not going to lie. Mash, I hope you heard me, because I fucking saw that, and it was sexy as hell.
We love to see it. But it might not be over for Mash. Oh! Look at Adrian popping around the outside. He might get 2 for 1 here.
Pushing Mash!
He's pushed Mash off the track, but the Ferrari muscles his way through. Coutinho's back through. Zach is Beast trying to make his way through. They're nearly 4 abreast. It's nearly 2 by 2. Going into turn 4. This is unbelievable.
Oh my god. Now we got Mash hitting it. Oh my god. What the fuck, boys?
Adrian's going slowly. He's bogged down. There might have been contact between him.
No, I think Adrian realized he's just like, fuck this. I am not down with this at all. Fucking hell. That was a good battle.
That was a very nice scrap. And you know what? It's nice to see because, you know, we're only on lap 7 and these guys are already going at it as if it's the last lap of the race as Mash returned the favour out of turn 4. But, yeah, absolute scrap.
Oh! Adrian in drastic now are out! Oh my goodness! Wow. I'm speechless. Like, it looked like Drastic Blaze was spinning, and then Adrian was like, yeah, sure, I'll join you.
Oh, no. I've just seen it on your stream as well.
Unbelievable. We got an instant replay. We got to have an instant replay of that. Live to the left. Of course, instant replay to the right. They were just coming out of the final braking zone. And you can just see, oh my goodness. Absolute chaos is going down here at Interlagos.
Yeah, absolutely right. Just chaos. And that's literally behind the top 4 as well. There's literally all sorts of chaos and drama going on behind. The top 4 guys don't even know any of what's going on at the moment. They're all in different party with each other. But that is unbelievable. And after all of that, Coutinho and Mash are still right behind each other. But the problem is, they are 6 seconds off Carrito, who is the next car. So the top 4 are just simply running away with things at the front of the field. But one thing we didn't notice, Diesel, after all of that, J.D. Mintz actually took the lead of the race. Yeah. With Vapic in second. I'm not sure if you caught that.
I mean, I was literally about to say it, but good thing you brought it up because, yeah, man, I mean, there's just been so much shit happening up and down the field that we just completely missed that. Luckily for us, the fact that they're still in this four-way battle, at least, I don't think the ladies and gentlemen will be too upset with us. But yeah, at least lap 9 of 36, folks, and the four musketeers, if you will, are still rolling.
Yep, they definitely are still rolling. They're still rolling. First.
Adrian is off at the center S's. That's a full safety car, ladies and gentlemen. Adrian has brought out a full safety car. I know everyone is going to be yelling at me because I was in the Ferrari earlier and I let this Muppet take the Ferrari from me, and he should have been commentary. I should have probably been in the Ferrari. I apologize, folks. I apologize.
Well, you've apologized to the Tifosi, which is a very hard thing to do. So fair play, Diesel. But you would have been cooking if you were in that Ferrari, because Adrian has burnt the building down with that crash, and as a result, Ferrari's grasp on the constructors might not be so safe. But the top four, they're going to be fuming, as you know they were so far ahead. They were 9 seconds ahead of Coutinho, but now this is where things can change hands. They're going to go onto the hard tyres, so the guys on the hards are going to be fuming as well, because they'll have to take the mediums to the end of the race if there's not another safety car in this Grand Prix. And is there a change in the top four? No, there isn't. Men's still ahead of Coot, ahead of Querty, and ahead of Carrito as well. So I think Carrito might be happy with that safety car. He was running low on battery in that top four train. He was running less than 10%, while Querty was running at least 30 to 40%. So Carrito with a chance to recharge and go again. But Big Mike and Kolesko stayed out, and therefore they're 1-2 on the track.
Yeah, I don't feel like they wanted to get rid of those hard tires. I feel like that's kind of the right call in this situation. I mean, what do I know? I'm not obviously driving, but regardless, dude, I honestly think that's the smartest play, because I don't think the mediums are gonna last fucking 26 laps.
No, it's very hard to do. I mean, I raced around here in Brazil last season in the McKeown division, and somehow I made it work, along with a few other people. So it's possible, but it's going to be really tight with tyres at the end of the race. Your pace will just completely drop off like a stone. So yeah, it's definitely a right choice to go onto a set of hard tyres. So Carrito, Querty, Vapid, Coot, and Menz will have nothing to worry about in terms of getting to the end of the race. However, this is Division 2, and they might be anticipating, the top two, they might be anticipating another safety car, which I wouldn't say is too far out of the question. So if that is the case, they can get a free pit stop and maybe get medium tyres to the end of the race and have fresher tyres than the top four, who are now 3rd to 6th. So this race is far from over.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually a good call. And as you mentioned, yeah, because it is Division 2, safety cars definitely not out of the realm of possibility here. So we'll see how it works out. Hopefully, we don't want safety cars, but can never count them out.
No, you never can. And I think based off what we've seen for the first 10 laps of this race, there is definitely another one on the horizon. As everyone, I think we can calm down a little bit, Diesel. I think we can find a way to breathe a little bit before we get going again, because there was absolute carnage right from the beginning of the race, and these guys now can plan their next moves. And I think you might want to watch out for is SLR Mash, is because he's on medium tyres and he's got 10 cars ahead of him on hard tyres, and now the medium tyres will be a lot quicker. So Mash might be thinking of an aggressive 2-stop race if there is to be another safety car. If that is the case, I don't think he really loses out too much.
Yeah,
he could just
make a good point there. You make a good point, and that's saying if there is another safety car, then that strategy will work out perfectly. The safety car should be coming in, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Yes, there it is. Race Control has just let us know. So now Kozlesko will become the defunct safety car. Had a Big Mike, Menz, Cute, and Abcordy, and of course Carrito as well. Excuse me there, folks. Sorry.
Alright, here we go. Time for racing again. The safety car's peeled off into the pits, and after lap 11, the leaders changed hands to Kolesko, who puts the throttle down, and we're racing again. What has happened with Coutinho? He's got no front wing, And he's lost out in that safety car as Jaylee Mays is looking to get on with it. He's down the inside of Big Mike and he completes the move. He had to make the move and he's up into P2. A much needed overtake for the Division 2 champion. Can Vapid Coot get his way through? He's not close enough to make it happen. But Jaylee Menz has nailed the restart and he's done what he needed to do. And that is gain a place on someone on older tyres than him.
Yeah, and he's going to be hoping that at least Big Mike can keep Vapid Coot at bay at least. And then I'm sure Benz is going to make the jump on Kozlesko sooner rather than later. Oh, there's Carrito's gone off in the background. And now he's dropped down to P8. Oh, he'll be kicking himself.
Yeah, he will. If that is a spin, he's going to be kicking himself. And, you know, he's already been promoted to the Kieran division for this Sunday's race. And he says he's not ready. If you're going to do stuff like that, pal, then, yeah, that is definitely the case. That is definitely a case of not being ready. I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, not ideal for him, considering he was with the battle for the race lead a few laps ago, as there's a lot of carnage in front of him. And QWERTY and legendary Danny D going at it down the straight. Danny D gets ahead of QWERTY, so QWERTY not making many inroads at all, as he's lost out to Borg and the other McLaren as well. So this just allows Coot and Menz to get away. And speaking of Menz, this could be a change for the lead as he's up the inside at turn 4 and he gets it done. Jaylee Menz takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix and he's made that look effortless.
Yeah, that was absolutely gorgeous. And then there's another incident in the background there. Not sure exactly who that was because we're obviously watching the Menz take the lead of this race, but it seemed to me that QWERTY Legend... Oh, it was Legend. Legend's off now. Oh, boy.
Legend's off. Something's definitely happened. I don't know where to look, mate. It's just too much going on at the moment. From up and down the field. It's just absolute carnage once again in this Brazilian Grand Prix. And hopefully we can actually find an eye for some action. Vapid Coot is going after Big Mike in P4 now.
Oh, and DRS has now been enabled, so just to add a little more spice to the mix.
Yeah, exactly. And now Vapid Coot is going to be smiling because DRS has been enabled. He knows that Mike has absolutely no battery at all, and he breezes past the Red Bull, and he's back up into the podium places. So Vapid Coot doing what he needs to do, but now he's got to chase down the Ferrari. It's going to be a lot harder since he's not going to be sat in his DRS zone as Mash getting really close to Zaki's Beast.
Oh! Well. Big Mike makes contact with Vapid Coot from behind!
Oh, no. It's just... What's going on here? What is going on? Scarborg is up into P3. He was 18th a minute ago. Oh, no! Zaki's Beast has been spun round as well!
No way. Oh, boy.
They're all dropping out like flies at the minute. Zaki's Beast was P7. He's P14. He's with Sotia Cook now side by side. And somehow they don't go round despite going side by side through that right-hander. But goodness me, what is going on here? Danny D is now looking to get involved with Big Mike going into turn 1. They make contact there as Carrito tries to pass Blaze. He gets past the Williams. But what is going on, Diesel? What is going on here?
I was just letting you go, man. I was letting you go. I was like, thank God I'm not calming right now. My mouth is on the floor. I can't even speak. I mean, so much shit is going down. Carrito's just made a move up on the inside of Danny D. It's really just...
Oh, Blaze just spun!
Oh, no.
Blaze has just spun! He was right behind the McLaren. He tried to get a run out of turn 4, and it's backfired on him. What's going on here, man? I don't know what is going on. There's no room to breathe or talk at all casually in this Grand Prix because everyone is causing chaos around all over the place. As Scarborg has a slide through the left-hander, and now he's under pressure from Vapid Coot. So, action everywhere in this finale of Division 2. Everyone is going for it. They don't care about the championship. It doesn't seem like it. As here goes Vapid Coot. And finally, I can calm down a little bit and call on a normal overtake with DRS as he moves into P3 again as Mash tries to go around the outside of Big Mike through turn 2. And that is a lot cleaner from the Mercedes, and he's up into P5. So Mash making those medium tyres work. He was 11th on the restart, and he's into the top 5 now. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 2. That's legend. And, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I think he's definitely... Yeah, he's got a 10-second penalty. He's got a 10-second penalty, mate.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's sorry for Legend. Sorry for Legend. He will not be in that battle for P2 anymore in the Drivers' Championship. I think the battle is going to be now between Vapid Coot and Corrida.
Yep, I definitely think so. There's another twist to this, I think, because he's just binned it at turn 6.
Oh my goodness.
I saw his onboard. He's completely binned it. And we've got a safety car. Lap 16. And you know what I said about those guys who didn't stop? This is going to help them. This is exactly what they were banking on. This is the banker. This is the one that's never failed for these guys. As Kulisko is going to pit for medium tyres. And guess what? They're going to be fresher than everybody else. So this is going to play into his hands. And along with Scarborger as well. And this is going to shake things up again in this race up. Quality is pitted, I think, for another set of tyres as well. So he was in that fight for the top 4, and now he's coming in for what? He's coming in for medium tyres to the end of the race. Most of these guys who are pitting now are going for mediums. So these guys are looking to push to the end of the Grand Prix, and we say that, you know, if there's another safety car, this can help these guys, and that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally as you called it under our first safety car. It seems to be playing that exact story right now on screen. Yeah, just with all the carnage, it seemed like it was almost inevitable. I'm surprised the safety car wasn't out even sooner, just with how many spins and shenanigans were going down. But yeah, the real winners there were, I think, in my opinion, is Kozlesko. He's just going to be freaking smiling ear to ear. And especially the fact, too, I think, who's he's battling? He's battling Zach's Beast for P5 in the Drivers' Championship. So if Kozlesko can get some nice overtakes done, he'll definitely be on the faster tire for the end of this race. Could gain P5 over Zach's Beast in the Drivers' Championship by the end of this race as well. So I guess 2 battles that we can look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a lot more battles to come on the track as well, Diesel. You know, we've now just reached the halfway point, and, you know, we're in the safety car now. So there's definitely a lot more chaos to be served in this race, as we've already seen so far, as the Alfa Romeo that should not be named is also in the pits. And I think this is for a set of hard tyres. Oh, it's for a front wing as well. So, yeah, that is not great for that Alfa Romeo driver that we cannot mention at the moment,
and
as you've got the standings up.
Big Mike wants to apologize to Vapid. He didn't mean to hit him in the back, and so just wanted to say that as well.
Well, that is good to see. Owen, how? I mean, that Alfa Romeo guy, I don't know what his name is. It can't be mentioned.
Now we can. Now we can. I mean,
how has he managed that? His car is stranded through turn 3, and he's crashed under safety car. What? How has he managed that?
Owen, you're a special breed. That's why we love Owen.
Oh no! Another awful day in the office for Owen Howell. And I think we can mention him now, and I think I can see why you were not willing to mention him at all. Because it always seems like something went wrong for him. He, you know, in the opening few laps, he was fighting for a potential podium, maybe even a win, by being in that train. And now, he's scoring 0 in this Grand Prix, which is a massive shame for him. And he'll be hoping that he can do a lot better next season, because there's definitely potential there with him. It's just a shame that he hasn't really been able to, you know, extract it.
Yeah, bring it to fruition.
For most of this championship. So hopefully he can go again next season on F1 23, as now these guys are under safety car. I can imagine it'll be out for another 1 or 2 laps. So once again, Diesel, we can breathe for a little bit.
Yes.
Before we get back to active proceedings.
Yeah, we're literally at the halfway point as well of the race, ladies and gentlemen, even though we are under the safety car. But it's just important to note we are halfway done finally. And, I mean, we're already losing our voices, ladies and gentlemen. As at the halfway point, I'm kind of scared for the interview aspect after this race. Hopefully, we can actually talk to our drivers still.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the water here, so I'll make sure that I don't run out before the end of the race. But it doesn't seem likely at the moment with the amount of carnage that is going on in this opening 18 laps of this race. As Diesel has mentioned, we have crossed the halfway point. We've only lost 3 drivers in this Grand Prix, and it's coming in this lap. Okay, all right. So we might be going a little bit sooner than we thought, Diesel. So here we go then. This time, it's J.Lee Menz leading this race. He was leading at the start, and he's going to lead us away again. And we'll be off racing on lap 19 in the Brazilian Grand Prix. And there's still a lot to play for, as the strategy element is coming into play again in Division 2. And we are underway once again for the second time. J.Lee Menz crosses the line to lead the Brazilian Grand Prix ahead of Vapid Coot, ahead of Carrito, ahead of Fryer, ahead of Molly as well. Up into P5 is the Haas driver, as Saki's Beast is right behind him, but he gets a 3-second time penalty, which is definitely going to hurt his chances later on in this Grand Prix. But Kolesko in 9th place is probably the one to watch at this rate. He's the first car ahead of everyone else on those fresh medium tyres, as Danny D has been pushed off the track by Mash going through turn 4, and Mash makes up a place there up into P12, and he's a few of these guys have got penalties as well, so that is going to definitely play a part in the ending of this Grand Prix, as Danny D collects a penalty as well. But so far, Diesel, things have been a lot calmer than it has been recently in recent laps.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the drivers are minding themselves a little more now. Already the 2 safety cars. We've had our fun, Simba, and now I believe it's time to fucking race. 16 laps to go, and well, whew, this should be a banger. This should definitely be a fucking banger. Lap 21 of 36, folks. Of course, no DRS. As of yet, but Kozlesko making a double overtake, going into turn 1 with a nice little dive bomb. Coutinho, oh, he tried to return. Coutinho's off.
Oh no! And I've seen a bit of carbon fiber as well off at turn 3 as well. There's a Red Bull without a front wing, and that is Big Mike. So there must have been even more contact with Coutinho. You can see it was completely wide at turn 4 to let everyone else through, but that is a disaster. But you said Kolesko making a double overtake might have been a little bit too ambitious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and there goes a Mercedes is off now. Mash is on the grass. So just as we were saying, there's no carnage. These guys probably heard us and were like, yeah, you want some fucking carnage? I got you.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of them was watching the stream about, you know what, let's just cause some carnage. Why not? But it's definitely a case of the commentators' curse coming right back to bite us here, because we've tried to say that things had calmed down a little bit, and every time we've said that, it's ended in tears for at least 1 or 2 of these guys on the track.
It would appear so. DRS is enabled. Now Kozlesko is up there with his rival Zach's Beast. So this is huge. The 2 battles in the Drivers' Championship that are actually happening on track right now currently. Kozlesko and Zach's Beast for P5 in the championship. Then you got Carrito and Coot for P2 in the championship. And look, they're pretty much battling for the same positions on track that they are in the standings. It's almost ironic there.
Yeah, a bit of irony.
Yeah.
It is never too far away in league racing, as already some people are running low on ERS. We've got Danny D and that guy running on less than 10%, and that is not ideal, especially with DRS being enabled. As yeah, normally you want to save ERS in a DRS train so you can try and attack the car in front a lot later into the race, and knowing that you've got a battery advantage. So yeah, these guys might be struggling with battery.
Oh no, my God! Vapid Coot is off!
No way!
Vapid Coot is off, folks! And Carrito has taken P2 of this race. Vapid is out of the points. Carrito could pick P2 in the Drivers' Championship now. Because of that one mistake.
A big mistake with big implications for the championship. Meanwhile, Kolesko is still making progress on those medium tyres. He's up into P5 in this race. He went down the inside of Zaki's Beast at turn 1, but what a disaster for Vapid Coup.
Oh my goodness, I am speechless. There's no shortage of drama here at Interlagos, folks. This track never seems to disappoint when it comes to either drama, chaos, or carnage. One of the three. Maybe, or sometimes even all fucking three bunched up together like today.
Yeah, that is true. This race continues to give, Diesel. It continues to give, and we've still got 14 laps to go. And once again, you know, we're reaching that point now. We're reaching towards the business end of not only this race, but of this championship. And you still don't know where everyone is going to end up. That is pretty much Division 2 in a nutshell here, ladies and gents, in this race. You still don't know who's going to win the race and who's going to end up where in the championship. But you know Kolesko is looking to make more progress as he's going down the inside of Moley into turn 1. And that is another move from the Aston Martin as the McLaren is looking to get involved with the AlphaTauri for P7. And once again, 3 cars fighting for the same piece of tarmac. So you know this is not going to end well for at least one of these guys. Going into turn 4 now. Scott Morgan just misses the rear end of Danny D. And Drastic Blaze will take the place instead. So these guys are swapping places all over the place.
Yeah, it seems like you make one mistake. These guys are so close in the midfield that you literally make one little mistake at a certain corner. You get too close, you maybe go too wide or too deep into a corner. Then the person right behind you is so close that he just takes advantage of it. And you can see right there, look at that Abqwerty just going around that guy. I mean, it's just, as I said, one little mistake. That guy goes a little bit too deep. Abqwerty's like, thank you very much. I'll take the inside line. Have a nice fucking line.
Yep, and he's made another mistake as well.
Yes,
he's
he
made
has.
another big mistake out of the last corner. And that's allowed Danny D to try and take advantage. That guy is on 15-lap-old tyres. And they're definitely showing its wear now as they both go down the straight towards turn number 1. And Danny D gets his way through up into P8. So that guy really dropping like a stone on those old hard tyres when everyone else around him is on fresher mediums as Drastic Blaze now goes through.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a really deflating situation to be in if you are that guy because, you know, there's nothing you could do.
You never want to be that guy, pun intended.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy who is on much older tyres than everybody else. It is the worst feeling in the world. You feel so helpless and defenseless. You can't do anything about it because you know everyone else has got so much more grip than you. And, you know, the only way is downwards in that case. As, meanwhile, while all that is happening, the race leader might be in a bit of jeopardy. As the gap between them is just less than a second. Kurita has no ERS, though. He has absolutely no battery compared to Jaylee Menz. The gap is 0.6, but Jaylee Menz has around 80% more ERS than Kurita, which is ridiculous at this stage of the race. As Zaki's Beast moves up into P5.
Yep.
He's still making those hard tyres work, to be fair to him.
Yeah, but, I mean, he needs to get up into P4, and because of the time penalty, it's going to be... actually, no, he just... it's going to be risky. He needs to get at least P4, whereas Kolesko is going to take P5 in the championship. And so Kolesko having a solid race here, and he really made that stint work with staying out on the hards under the first safety car. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one thing that he had to his advantage was that track position by staying out in the first safety car. I think that's where Mash might have gone wrong with his strategy. He had no track position, therefore he couldn't make as much progress as he wanted to, and as a result he got caught in the chaos instead of moving his way up the field. So Kolesko's come alive in this second half of the race. Can he hunt down the top 2? We're going to find out because now we've got just less than 10 laps to go in this Brazilian Grand Prix, and the results up and down the field are still very uncertain as Abqwerty moves up into P6 past Moley. Moley's tyres are 17 laps old. He'll be begging for a safety car as he'll be looking to stay on the track.
Oh
He's had
my
an
goodness.
incredible save through the first corner. I don't know how he's kept that face in the right way. Danny D gets caught out. He loses 4 places
Yes.
as a result. And Scar Borger trying to get involved on the inside of that guy who's somehow back in the top 10. I don't know how he's managed that, but these guys are absolutely going for it. They don't even care about the championship. Who cares about that? We'll just go out flat out for 36 laps and see where we end up. That is definitely the mentality of some of these guys, or most of these guys this evening. They don't care what happens. As Scar Borger gets a very nice run out of that hairpin through the right-hander, and he's got the job done of that guy who's trying his best to fight back on his old tyres, and they're still side by side. They bang wheels a little bit going into the last corner. This is for P10. You'd think this is for like a podium place. This is for P9 on the track in this race. These guys are up there. They're really stealing the show for us here. I'm feeling pretty sport watching this race. As Moley, I think Danny D's in the pits, along with Moley as well.
Yeah, Moley.
And here comes Clock now, up the inside. The 2 AlphaTauris looking to team on the Williams as Scar Borger takes a very interesting line through turn 2. Clearly goes over track limits, and that's not going to help you around here. And there goes Sotia Clock. He's up into P9. So Borger, after all of that, he's ended up losing a place instead of gaining one. So Scar Borger really having a tough second half to this race.
Yeah, there's so many people jockeying for these positions, and as you said, battling for P9 of this race. It's not even like a podium position at all. These guys are just giving it all out here for this season finale, giving us a show to watch, and it's definitely gonna, hopefully, it's gonna be a treat for them all to watch back. Because what fucking carnage this is. That guy, Sautier, Clock, Borga, they're all still in DRS range of Blaze, so they still have a nice little train there. And then I guess you got the second train here is Eggfryer, Beast, and Abcordy.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a few trains that are starting to develop in this final stage of the race, because most of these guys now are just thinking about getting these tyres to the end of the Grand Prix, especially those on medium tyres. If you look at that guy, you know, he'll definitely be worrying about trying to get to the end of the race. The question is, will he let his teammate through? As he's on much fresher tyres, he can try and go for at least P7 in this Grand Prix. I have a feeling they won't, because they're all going for it. I don't really think they'll care too much about, you know, their teammates and what happens in the Constructors' Championship, as it looks like Ferrari are on course to win that, by the way, with Jay Menz leading the way, continuing to do so. But, yeah, these guys are really stealing the show for us here today, and it's carnage up and down the field, so thanks, everyone, for that. But meanwhile, out in front, the gap's still half a second, but again, I want to raise your attention to the ERS. The top 2 have, like, it's such a contrast. Kolesko using a lot of battery in order to keep tabs with the Division 2 champion here, and look at that, 5% by the time they cross the line, and you have 20% to begin with. So Carrito really dependent on his battery at the moment to keep up with Menz, and Menz just sitting there on 70% battery. Oh, there's a mistake there from Carrito.
Yeah.
He's made a little bit of an error through turn 2. And there you go. He's having to use even more battery in order to stay within his range. So Jaylee Menz playing this to a T at the moment. And it looks like it doesn't really seem that he's going to lose his race. But knowing this Division 2, anything could happen at any time. So we'll have to keep tabs on that as there's 7 laps to go in this race. Can you believe that we're on lap 30?
I mean, it seems like it's been really fast. I know there's like a lot of shit that's gone down, but I think that's how it's attributed to just making things go faster, and it's been a pleasure with you, Simba, and we're not even fucking done yet.
We're not done yet. We are not done yet. And I think the AlphaTauris have ended up swapping places as well, which is a key move if Soticook wants to try and get some decent points to round off the season. And crucially, he's still within, that guy is still within his teammates' DRS range as well. So the AlphaTauris working well together. Scar Borger currently outside the top 10. He's lost another place now to Vapid Ku. Vapid Ku is making his way through the field. He was last after, I think, a lap or two after the second safety car. And now he's in the top 10. So Vapid Ku's pace must be really strong around here. And he'll be kicking himself, but not really extracting the most out of it, because the best he's going to get at the moment seems to be at least P8. when he was fighting for a potential podium in this Grand Prix. So a lot of people will be ruining a missed opportunity as a result of all the chaos. You know, in a race like this, a lot of people will be ruining a missed opportunity to get a big result here.
Yeah, there was so many. I mean, there were so many people up at up in our top 4, or even I think it was our top 6 at one point. And then you had Hugh shall not be named. You know, had that his little spin. Legends was up there during a certain point. Like he was making his way through the field after starting in P, like dropping down to P20 off of lap 1, pretty much. Like, fuck, man. There's just so much shit that happened there. And of course, Adrian doing Adrian things as well.
Adrian doing Adrian things. Oh my goodness gracious me.
Zach is
Anyway.
Beast looking up to make a move on Egg Fryer. Trying to go around the outside. No.
It almost seemed like he looked for a gap that was just closing by the time they got to the first corner, but now he's got the run through turn 3, going into turn 4. This surely has to be the moment for the Alfa Romeo to try and seal the top 5 of the championship, and there he goes. Up into P4 in this Brazilian Grand Prix. Golden Egg Fryer. Oh, left to oh, there's contact with the Red Bull. And Golden Egg Fryer's luckless season ends with another whimper. And he's dropped out of the top 10.
I mean, this is absolute heartbreak after a gorgeous overtake there from the Alfa Romeo. You can see on the replay, and then just clipping the back of the Red Bull. Heartbreak for Mercedes fans. And, of course, Egg fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just looked like he lost it on the traction out of turn 4. Those tyres are 22 laps old. And, you know, they're definitely feeling the effects of the tyres going off at this stage of the race. And, yeah, there you go. That is the effect of trying to get these tyres as far as you can. Most of these guys were just going ham over fist without really thinking too much about the big picture, unfortunately, as he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits, and I imagine that is a retirement as well. So yeah, Golden Egg Fryer with another tough season as he repairs his front wing, down in 14th place, as meanwhile up in front, Carrito getting a lot closer to Jaylee Menz. The gap now just under half a second going through this section. And now this is where the tyre management kicks in. This is where, you know, the ERS management kicks in. Again, the ERS management is so different between these two. Carrito, again, very aggressive on the battery. He hasn't really harvested much since being sat behind the Ferrari. It just seems that he's trying to stay as close as he can. Just charge the battery, mate. You're fine. There's no rush. You've still got 3 laps to try and generate some battery so you can actually go for a last lap attack. Stop draining it down the straight because you're just making it harder for yourself to actually make progress on the Ferrari. So, you know, Carrito, he's quick, but he's got a few things to learn first, as, you know, he could have a bit more battery at his disposal if he just doesn't drain it every straight. You know, this pretty much is why Jaylee Menz is able to keep his advantage at the moment. It's just the ERS management, Diesel.
Yeah, I've noticed that, especially to any new drivers out there listening to the stream. Just want to let you guys know, like, even when they're just like on medium. So if you're not using ERS, you're technically always using it. Like, let's just theoretically speaking. So even with just 16% on you know, just on a normal ERS mode, is going to be less speed in a straight line than, you know, normally on a 65%. So Lee Menz is actually just going to be faster just regularly in a straight line just because of that little advantage. And you can see Carrito, I mean, he gains up to 20% and then he just uses it right out of turn 13 every single time.
Yeah, it's just he's not helping himself. The chance is there to win this Grand Prix. As, you know, Carrito, Kolesko isn't really making much progress. It seems like he's got P3 on lock as Abquerti moves up into P4 on those old medium tyres. He's making them last to the end of the race. And Abquerti moves into the top 4. Zakis Beast down to P5. And Vapid Coot continuing his drive through the field. He's up into P8 now. So Vapid Coot doing bits in the second half of the race. But there will be definitely a lot of frustration in the back of his mind on where he could have been instead. But back to the race leaders. Jaylee Menz has used a lot of battery over the last few laps. We've been watching everyone else down the order. But, he's still got such an advantage on the battery compared to his rival Carito, who's looking to seal P2 in the championship. I think it'll still be enough for him anyway, as Scar Borger has gone off. So, yeah, not great for him. He's down in P15 now. But moving on to the last lap of the season and the race, can Carito do anything here? Can he try and force Menz into an error as he's again got the DRS? He's got that extra straight line speed. He's getting closer than he's ever been. He's had a look down the inside. But J.D. Menz completely unfazed. Can Carito get the run out of turn 2 and 3? It doesn't seem like it as he tries to drain the battery. So is Menz, and there's that ERS advantage coming back into play here. And J.D. Menz has drove a flawless race at the moment. He's got 2 sectors to go to seal another win in this season and seal the championship in the best way possible. And it doesn't seem Carito's got an answer for him right now.
Well, Carito's still putting the pressure on, though. He's going to go through the slow, windy bit of Sector 2, folks. And this is very important for the McLaren. Got to keep the traction, keep with his rival just ahead of him. You can see him. You can taste the fumes from the exhaust of the Ferrari. And now we're going to go into the final braking point here. One braking point, and this will be really important. He's still got that 19% battery versus the 44% of Lee. They are both expunging their batteries as we have a lap car ahead, too. Is actually Lee going to get DRS as well? Lee got DRS because of that, and that's going to help him solidify the win. Lee and Carito come across the line. Lee, our championship leader, great race from him. And Carito will solidify P2 in the Drivers' Championship with staying consistent. Wow.
That is a champion's drive from J.D. Menz. What a way to wrap up the season for him. Another win in this championship, and why he was the man to beat in Division 2 this season. Carito got close, but not close enough. But Kolesko came alive in the second half of the Grand Prix to claim a brilliant podium and definitely seal P5 in the Drivers' Championship. And Quality just misses out in P4. Drastic Blaze had quite the race, and he ended up P5 in the end. So, a lot of carnage, and after all of that, J.D. Menz comes out on top once again to wrap up the season. But Diesel, what a race we've seen here in Division 2. What a way to go out for the season.
Yeah, definitely there was... I mean, you guys can go back and watch this race or show a friend this fucking race and just be like, okay, look at the grid. Now tell me who's going to finish this race. Nobody will be able to call how much fucking carnage ensues in this race. It's fantastic watch. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of action to look back on. Maybe we might see it in the, what's it called? In my new intro. You never know. I'm a sneaky little bastard. What can I say? But anyways, regardless, because let's go from P18 all the way to a podium. I mean, I think he is going to be most people's driver of the day. That battle for P5 in the championship. They literally started 18th and 19th respectively, and they drove to the very end for that P5 in the championship. And I guess that shows why, because Lesko is so high in the standings. I mean, if you're able to do P18 to P3, you got some fucking skill, right, Simba?
Yeah, that is for sure. And, he took advantage of that safety car to great effect and made it work as well, because sometimes you can have a bit of luck with strategy, but sometimes the execution might not be there. And Kolesko, definitely a contender for driver of the day. You also mentioned Zach is Beast, also coming from P19 on the grid to finish in P6. A lot of great drives with a lot of chaos as well.
Yes.
But still, some great performances shown through here today. And Kolesko and Zach is Beast are definitely up there, along with the race winner as well. Because J.D. Menz was completely flawless from lap 1 to the checkered flag. He managed that brilliantly. And, we'll see where he ends up next season. There's no way he's not going to be a McKeon.
Yeah.
Because he's just shown why he was the best driver on the grid here. Unreal race.